Hey friends, welcome to Sabbath School Daily, where we have been studying from this lesson right here, 3 Cosmic Messages. This week we have been studying from lesson number 5, which has the title, The Good News of the Judgment, and today is Wednesday's lesson, which has the title, The Glimpse of Heaven. Now, I told you yesterday that today would be kind of a part 2 of yesterday's lesson. Yesterday we saw this courtroom scene happening in the book of Daniel in chapter 7, right? We have the Ancient of Days, we have this awesome depiction of God. And so we had that whole context. Today, the story shifts to a courtroom scene in the book of Revelation, more specifically Revelation chapter 4 and chapter 5. The Bible is riddled with the symbology of judgment and of courtroom, right? The courtroom scenes. We have the books being open. We have advocate. We have judge, right? We have accuser, right? In the devil and Satan. He is the accuser, the contender, the adversary. So the Bible is riddled with this kind of depiction, with this kind of storytelling, where we understand that, first of all, there will be a judgment, and second of all, God is the judge, right? So in yesterday's lesson, we had the courtroom scene in the book of Daniel, and today we have the courtroom scene happening in Revelation. And this is just an awesome understanding of who God is. This is a glorious manifestation of heaven, right? Here we literally see a glimpse of what heaven is like right now as this judgment is happening. What we find here is it's a very similar kind of terminology. It's a similar kind of courtroom scene that lifts the veil of heavenly realities about judgment. So I have a few notes here, and I'm going to be looking at them because I really want you to understand what I'm trying to describe, right? In this scene right here, we find a depiction of the throne room up in heaven. Again, the text is similar to others in Scripture where we find a description of God's power, a description of divinity. The one who sits upon the throne is described in all of his awesome brilliance, in all his glory being manifested. He shines like precious stones. There's a majestic rainbow which is surrounding him. Also included here in this story in Revelation, we find 24 other thrones that ultimately represent God's people, God's victorious people. They have white robes, which represent Jesus' righteousness. They have golden crowns that represent their triumph over evil and their position as co-heirs with Christ. They are, after all, a royal priesthood, is how the Bible describes it. This throne room, it quakes with thunders and lightnings. This is the judge's power made manifest. A sea of glass is laid out before it, and the river of life flows from its feet, as we find in Revelation chapter 22. So the description is altogether awesome, altogether extraordinary. As the lesson puts it, we see a throne set in heaven with God sitting upon it. There are heavenly beings around the throne, and soon all of heaven begins to sing, and the crescendo of praise builds higher and higher still. You are worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, and by your will they exist and were created. So this is the setting of today's lesson, right? This is the setting. Actually, it's the setting for tomorrow's lesson. It's an intro for what's going to happen tomorrow. So if anything, I encourage you, don't miss tomorrow's Sabbath School Daily, where we're going to talk about what John is going through there in that setting up in heaven. But please, today, to prepare for that or to understand it better, read the verses that are outlined here. If you can, read Revelation chapter 4, the beginning there of chapter 5. That'll give you a good idea of what's going on, of the problematic and the solution provided. But the story here, friends, is that God is the judge. And as judge, he is fair, he is equitable, he defends the defenseless, he helps the helpless, he is the power of the powerless. But in God, we have more than just a judge. We have a defense attorney. The truth that I want you to remember of this week's lesson is, while God is still our judge, and he is our judge, he is also our defender. He is the defender of the saints, of all of those who want him to defend their cause. So may God bless you in the study of today's lesson. Please look up the Bible verses, open your lesson, look up these verses, fill out the questions. That'll confirm the message and the content in your mind. Also, please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our videos. We release one every day, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow for another study of Sabbath School Daily.